Hi, I'm Mary Beth Stapleton, Manager of Family and Community Partnerships for Harford County Public Schools. Welcome to our Parent Academy Real Talk on back to school mental health for parents and students. With me today, I'm honored to have some guests here who are experts in mental health in Harford County and helping guide parents and families to a place of healthy mental health in their family and in the community and in the schools. So to get us started, I would love to introduce them to you and have them tell a little bit about their background. So I'll start with you, Lori.
Hi, I'm Laurie Rajala. I'm the local care team coordinator, which is based in the Harford County Department of Community Services. Excited to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm Angela Gray. I'm the Child and Adolescent Services Coordinator with the Office on Mental Health, the core service agency of Harford County. Every jurisdiction in Maryland has a core service agency, and we are responsible for planning, managing, enhancing, and monitoring the behavioral health services that are provided to families here in Harford County.
Great, thanks for being here. It's a big job.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christina Alton, the mental health specialist for Harford County Public Schools.
Thanks, Christina. Thanks for being here. And we hear often from parents when we do these real talks, we want to make sure that you know that we are all parents, right? So we all have children. We are all experienced the highs and lows of parenthood. So remembering that although we are professional women, we also are all mothers. So let's start with that thought, right? Mm-hmm. So to get us started, as mothers and as parents in the community, we've heard from the media, we've heard perhaps in our circle of friends and families that there could be some concerns around mental health in our children and youth right now maybe more than ever. And so Angela, I know you've got your finger on the pulse of how things are in Harford County as a community. Just share with our parents, what is going on with mental health in Harford County for our children and youth right now?
Sure. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has continued and will continue to take a huge toll on our physical health and all of our mental health. The fear and anxiety that has come with the pandemic has been a traumatic experience for many of us. And as we know, trauma is an emotional response to a distressing or disturbing event that really overwhelms our ability to cope and to manage. So we may be noticing some things in our teens, like fear and anxiety related to becoming ill or family members becoming ill, loneliness and grief related to events being canceled or being confined to their home. The most recent youth risk behavior survey conducted in 2019 reports an increase in sadness and hopelessness among youth to 32%. And this is pre-pandemic data. So I think it's really not clear the full extent of the pandemic, and we need to continue to collect more data.
Mm-hmm. Well, and to think about that anxiety, the fear, the social isolation, all those things. Christina, you've been in this work for a long time. Teens feel that all the time, right?
All the time.
So that's kind of not something new as we get into this school year. We always have had our children who have anxiety about a new school year. Mm-hmm. Why is this school year different? What are you hearing about that we need to be even more attentive to as parents?
I think that for this school year, we always, as you said, plan for anxiety. It's a new school year, new teachers, new routines, but this year even more so. So for us as a school system, I feel like we're just really more hyper-focused on our students' needs for reassurance, for time to express themselves, maybe more than usual. Actually, plan time in a classroom. Let's just talk. And what's interesting about this is that we've all had an experience with COVID. We've experienced it not in the same ways, but we've all had that experience, and we can share what our concerns are. We can encourage our students to do that, but also allow them time to reconnect with everybody in the building, their friends, their favorite staff members, new staff members that they've yet to meet, and new friends that they haven't met. So just really being focused on supporting them, because we know that it's a delicate balance this year. We have always had the task of educating students, but we also need to balance that with their social emotional needs. Mm-hmm. And that's what our schools they're definitely focused on that. And each school is doing it in a different way. all of our schools have personalities, and they approach things in different ways, their school culture and how they support students. So they'll all be doing it in different ways, but the goal is the same. And it's to create a supportive environment for our students as they return from what really has been, I know everybody hates this word, an unprecedented set of events over the last, 13 months.
So to that point, we know our school-based staff is ready to go and ready to support. But that said, as parents, we see younger children perhaps with concerning behavior, and then older children with concerning behavior. So, Lori, I know you've worked on the local care team. You've seen some extreme behavior, right, that sometimes your group has to work with, right, and support. So can you talk a little bit about what kinds of support you provide as a local care team and what that is and how parents can access that if they think that perhaps the normal fear that you see at the beginning of a school year, anxiety, has kind of just exacerbated and gotten really bad?
Sure. So like I said in the beginning, I run the local care team for Harford County. Every county has a local care team. They're legislated by law. We are overseen by the state. And Harford County's is in the Department of Community Services. So basically the care team is a inter-council group of all of the child-serving agencies that come together and brainstorm resources for parents who have kids with high needs, behavior, mental health, academic. We review any case. There is no criteria. It goes up through age 18. But it's really a brainstorming session to find out what parents need help with. So if parents are looking for help and resources, there's a referral on the Department of Community Services website. They can fill it out. They can call me. I can help them fill it out. And then we meet to talk about what services have you tried? What are you needing help with? And then the agencies at the table say, have you tried this? Have you tried respite? Have you tried counseling, equine therapy? And I kind of coordinate the group and help the parents link up to the services.
Okay, so that's if, and just to be clear, Christina, again, mother of 4, I've seen my children be fearful and perhaps have some behavior issues here and there. And so when you look at it from a school's lens, if there is extreme behavior, what does that look like? And what should parents be kind of concerned about to perhaps reach out to an LCT or something like that?
I think that as parents, number one, we know our kids better than anybody else does. I think we all ladies can agree on that. I think that for your own individual students, what is outside of what you consider typical for your child for a long period of time, and things that maybe they were normally responsive to in the past, they're not responsive to anymore, and it's impacting all aspects of their lives.
So disruption.
Disruption,
Yeah.
chronic disruption.
Okay.
And, it's happening at school, it's happening at home. They're not even able to maybe play with friends or be on their sports team anymore, that it has such a profound impact. And that things that you are trying don't seem to be working. Those things that worked in the past. Maybe you are involved in counseling, but maybe, lots of folks don't really have an understanding of what our resources are. And LCT and attending that just kind of gives you this clearer picture. One, it makes you feel great to know that there are all these people and they don't know your child, and they're sitting down and they're talking about them to help you support them in the best way that we possibly can.
And just to that point, as a parent, the fear of basically, I don't know why we're so easy to say, my child's had a cold, my child had the flu, my child broke their leg. But for some reason, when my child is having disruptive behavior, anxiety, I'm so frightened to share, right? There's some kind of a feeling in this community, and I think across the country, I will be judged as a mother if I come to you and say, I need help.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, and the thing that, Angela and I hear a lot is you have, kids that are 15, 16, 17 that are years away from becoming adults, and the parents say, if I had known about these services when the kid was 6, 7, 8, I think some of the behavior could have been helped when they were younger, but parents are scared. I think there is a stigma still around mental health, and we have a great care team in the county, and I'm hopeful that maybe COVID especially, people do realize it's okay to talk about mental health. I mean,
Right.
I think if anything, COVID brought to light more the mental health concerns with kids and adults. I mean, I really think it kind of put it on this, made people are talking about it more.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that that will diminish the stigma, because there are resources available, and not with every kid, but some kids, if you do provide some resources when they're younger and get some services in place, may not get to be the teenager where they need more intense need and more intense help.
And Angela, to that point about the adult piece, everything I've read about parenting is it's difficult to parent if you're not healthy yourself. Sure. So can you speak a little bit about what parents can do if they feel they're off kilter, not feeling healthy, excessive worry, excessive, any kind, again, extreme behavior? Any resources in the community for adults?
And I think we all, as parents, we all worry, right? I mean, that's sort of part of being a parent, but there are lots of resources sort of for everyone in the community. So one of the amazing things about Harford County is we are one of the only counties that has a walk-in crisis center. So we have the Klein Family Harford Crisis Center. They are available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week, and you can walk in. Now, despite the fact that it's called a crisis center, you don't have to wait until it's a crisis point. You can walk in at any point. Another amazing resource that we have is Harford Crisis Response. So we have a hotline, a warm line that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If parents are just looking for resources, if they just need a listening ear, they can call, and a phone counselor will be there to offer resources and supports. And one of the most amazing things is they have a mobile team. So their mobile team can come to the home or to the community and do in-person mental health assessment and stabilization. And that's a free service that's available here in the county. And the phone number is 1-800-NEXT-STEP, and locally 410-874-0711.
Wow, and we'll have that resource available for parents, absolutely. Well, that's good to hear that you don't necessarily have to be in a crisis to go to the crisis center. And I think sometimes adults, parents might say, I'm not that bad, I got it, I'm okay. And then things really do start to spiral.
Absolutely.
So very good. Well, thank you all so much for your time today. I know you're all so busy getting back to the school year. And Christina, I'm going to end with you. I know that we're renewing, readjusting. This is our new normal. But as students head back next week, just some parting words for parents about how to prepare this week to get them ready in a very healthy, emotional way, social emotional way.
I think, one, we have to make sure as parents that we're okay, that we are in check and that we're able to have that conversation with our children. And I think keeping the lines of communication open with our students. Let's talk a little bit about what do you think the school day is going to be like? And then after they come home that first day, the typical question is, how was your day? Well, okay. Or I didn't learn anything, or whatever the case may be, but more of, tell me about your day. Asking that question in a different way. How did it feel to walk through the door for that first time and see your friends? So that you're asking those questions that prompt a conversation with your kids. And I also encourage some sort of routine in that conversation. I always like to get my daughter in the car because she couldn't leave. We were driving. And so we would have those conversations in the car, and we had some great conversations. We also kind of just have we still do it, and she's in college, a daily check-in. And I would say to her, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst possible and 10 being the best, where are you right now? And it's not a funny question to ask her anymore. She doesn't think, well, she might think it's weird, but I don't. And it really is a great way for us to check in. So I think thinking about what would work for your child and your family, as long as you're talking and you're keeping the lines of communication open and continuing to be approachable, and even if you are kind of shaky on the inside, that your outside front to your child is that we've got this. Because we all have that feeling on the inside that we're not quite sure. But joining in their chaos doesn't necessarily make them feel supported and safe. And so just being calm and keeping the lines of communication open with your student.
And I think that's a really great point, those lines of communications. I think sometimes as parents, our kids might perceive that we want them to be perfect and we want them not to bring their challenges to us because we can't handle it, but we can.
We can.
And that's what we're here for, to help them through it, for sure. Well, that's really great advice. Thank you all so much for being here today. And here's to a great school year for all of our children, right?
Yes.
And thank you all for joining us today for the Parent Academy Real Talk. And remember, Harford County's parents are our children's first and best teachers. We'll see you next time.